Good win for us against a very good team and a team that's tough for us to play against because they're similar to us in their style of play, and it always gives us trouble. But we played well. You know, they're banged up. Like, not having Bolden for them is big because he can just get buckets for them. And we're starting to get healthy. That was a big difference. We got Justin Moore and Colin Gillespie actually had 2 days of practice, which we haven't had in 2.5 weeks. We haven't had them in practice. So I think that showed tonight. We were a lot more connected having these guys in practice for a couple days.
As you said, Butler has been so competitive against Villanova previously. Why do you think the 2 games this season for sure outside?
I think the first game we played them, they were coming off COVID and injuries. It's just been one of those years. We've had one of those years too. And I think Bolden makes a big difference for them. Like he's always the guy that gives us as much trouble. Him and Harris give us a lot of trouble in the backcourt. I just think them being banged up, and I think after everything we've gone through this year, we're finally healthy for the first time, and we got a couple days of practice in. I think that made a big difference today.
Just for those on Zoom, please raise your hand and we'll get to you, but we'll go for a question in the room now if you want.
Hey Jay, it seemed like in the first half especially, Samuels and Slater really got to the rim consistently. What does that do for a team that likes to take a lot of jumpers from beyond the arc?
It's important, and they're a big part of what we do, and their ability to get to the rim with the floor open up when people take away threes. And again, Butler does a good job of taking away threes against us. And so it's really valuable. And it's not just getting to the rim, it's making the right decisions when you get there, you know. And I think Jermaine was incredible. Not just scoring, getting to the rim, but making decisions all night long.
And for some of the guys who haven't had heavy minutes in years past, like Slater or Dixon, what does an environment like this mean for them heading into the Big East?
Yeah. You know, every time you play in a great environment like this, it does help those guys. It helps. I still say, like, that first time you play in Madison Square Garden, though, with a lot of minutes, if you play in major minutes for the first time, it's different, man. So hopefully we can get through that first game because the first one's tough for those guys that haven't played a lot of minutes.
And just one more. I mean, how do you balance enjoying the present and being part of something like the Big East tournament with also wanting to win games and possessions?
It is hard because when you get to New York, I think it's one of the most special basketball experiences in the world. I really do. I mean, I coached the Olympics. I coached NCAA tournament. I put playing in Madison Square Garden, the Big East tournament, up against any of it. So you're excited, but then you got to kind of focus on 94 by 50 feet and block out that cool arena with the backdrop, backlighting, and you got to just focus on 94 by 50 feet in your opponent. It's hard to do. That's what I mean for young guys that haven't played there before. It's distracting. It really is, but it's a great experience, and we're lucky in the Big East to be able to play there.
Good luck next week, guys.
Thank you very much.
We'll open it up to the Zoom folks. I think we're on mute now, so if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll get to you.
Jimmy.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Terry.
You were able to get some good minutes from Chris and Drew Longino today.
We really did, and they've been working hard. This is a culmination of them really working hard in practice, and you know, us going into this game knowing that we were going to need depth on the perimeter against Butler because they play fast and they have really good perimeter play, and we needed them today, and they delivered. I was really proud of them.
Thank you.
Mike Jensen.
Yeah, Jay, looking to the Garden, what are you satisfied with what you're seeing right now from these guys lately? And my second question, did Andy Reid or Pete Carroll say they were interested in any of your guys?
Did Andy or Pete say what?
If they were interested in any of your guys for that.
I talked to Andy before the game, and Mark talked to Pete Carroll, so I haven't got to talk to him after the game yet. So I'll see what their evaluation was after the game. But I'm really happy, mostly, Mike, that we're healthy and we actually got a couple days of practice. And I've been, frustrated, and every team is going through it this year, whether it's COVID. We've just had a crazy year with injuries and illnesses and diseases. Like, I've told you, foot and mouth disease. I mean, who ever heard of that? I mean, it's just one of those years, and everybody's had it. Butler's dealing with Bolden being out, but finally we got a couple days of practice with everybody in there and getting Justin and Colin healthy again. It helped, though. It got Jordan some minutes and it got Chris some minutes, and I feel like we got our depth and we got our health together going into the Big East tournament. Sorry, I should have said that.
David Melandra.
Hey, Jay, got a couple of questions for you. One, can you talk about you guys' three-point shooting today as you guys had it going in the first half?
We did, and that was important to get off to a good start here. I don't think we've shot the ball well here many times, but usually that's because you're playing against a team that's a great defensive team. I thought some of the ones we hit early were some tough ones. Justin hit a couple of step backs, but that's what you need when you play on the road. You need big-time players to just make tough shots.
And how's it feel to finally get a win at Hinkle Fieldhouse after your last couple of trips and not going the way you want it to go?
I try to tell you this, David. We don't think about that stuff. We just think about next game, man. Next game.
Now, how can you build up this momentum going into the Big East?
Well, I think I said having the depth, getting Chris minutes, not wearing out Justin and Colin so much, and getting guys in practice. I feel like we've got some momentum of being healthy and being able to practice. We can get some days of practice in here, so I feel good going into the tournament.
All right, thank you.
And now we have a couple questions here in the room for the players, I think.
I think it's really team defense. We came in here and wanted to take pride in defense and being tough and being physical and rebounding and tough and chesting them in the paint. And we knew it was going to be tough coming in this environment and trying to get stops, but we stayed together and we stayed focused and got it done.
And Jermaine, how do you feel about the team now going into the Big East tournament? You've done really well over the last 9 games, just one loss. Just how does the team feel going into the Big East?
I think we feel pretty good, but we know we have a lot of work to do. We are excited about the win, but we know we have to come back and practice the next day, and we have to get better. The Big East is that's one of the toughest tournaments in the country, and one of the best conferences in the country, and we just want to be as prepared as possible, and we know we have to get better.
Any other questions?
Hey, Jermaine, kind of the same question I had for Jay. Playing D1 college basketball, Big East is pretty special. How do you balance wanting to win another Big East tournament title with also enjoying, playing at MSG and one of the mecca of basketball?
As special as it is to play in Madison Square Garden, you have to, as a player, as a program, we have to lock in on 94 by 50 feet. It's again special time of the year, but we have to take it one game at a time, and we have to focus on what we can in front of us and control everything we control, and move on from it when the opportunity comes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.